My name is Dr. Sue Wong, and I'm a physician living with hepatitis B. Hepatitis B is often discussed in numbers, but let's remember the people behind those numbers. There are countless stories of families, mothers, children, and generations whose lives have been changed by a virus we now have the tools to prevent. I myself am a big supporter of shared decision or individualized decision-making with my patients. It's really important when options are equally reasonable. But in preventing hepatitis B transmission for a lifelong disease, the evidence is clear. Timely birth dose is a best practice, and it should remain our recommendation. And as always, there is the choice to opt out. My 4 children all received their Hep B vaccine and are Hep B free, which I'm eternally grateful for. But they would have been covered by a targeted strategy anyway. I'm here to advocate for all children. We cannot predict a child's future risk. Like seatbelts, our overall risk of getting into an accident are low, but we universally wear them because we cannot control the world around us. So let's do the same and continue to universally give every infant a hepatitis B free future. Thank you.
With appreciation and respect, thank you for sharing that. Michael Belkin, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my name is Michael Belkin. I'm a graduate of the UC Berkeley Haas School of Business. Dean Rich Lyons, who is a dean, made the status, he said, question the status quo is the founding principle of UC Berkeley Business School. By the way, Dean Rich Lyons is now the chancellor of UC Berkeley. I'm a guest speaker occasionally at the business school. I have a background in statistics. I advise financial institutions with my models that I developed. And I'm at the Pierre Hotel actually at an investment conference at the moment. If you hear background noise, I apologize for it. So my daughter, Lila Rose Belkin, died at the age of 5 weeks, about 15 hours after receiving her second hepatitis B vaccine booster shot. Lila was a lively, alert 5-week-old baby when I last held her in my arms. Little did I imagine as she gazed intently into my eyes with all the innocence and wonder of a newborn child that she would die that night. She was never ill before receiving the hepatitis B shot. At her final feeding that night, she was extremely agitated, noisy, and feisty, and then she fell asleep suddenly and stopped breathing. The autopsy ruled out choking. The New York medical examiner ruled her death sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. But the New York medical examiner, Dr. Persicino, neglected to mention Lila's swollen brain or the hepatitis B vaccine in the autopsy report. It was ignored. The coroner spoke to my wife and our pediatrician, and notes of the conversation were brain swollen, not sure cause yet, could not see how recombinant vaccine could cause problems. SIDS is a diagnosis of exclusion. It wasn't this, it wasn't that. Everything has been ruled out and we don't know what it is. In other words, they don't know. A swollen brain is not SIDS. Therefore, we had a falsified pathology report. Through conversations with other experienced pathologists, I subsequently discovered that brain inflammation is a classic adverse reaction to vaccination. Look it up in the Merck manual. It's the definition of a vaccine reaction. I set out to do an investigation of the Hep B vaccine and attended a workshop at the National Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, February meeting, and a debate in New Hampshire. I also obtained the entire Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, VAERS, database on hepatitis B vaccine reactions and have investigated thoroughly. These are my conclusions supported by the following pages of text and analysis that's in my testimony, written testimony, which I submitted. 1, newborn babies are not at risk of contracting the hepatitis B disease unless their mother is infected. Hepatitis B is primarily a disease of junkies, gays, and promiscuous heterosexuals. The vaccine is given to babies because health authorities couldn't get those risk groups to take the vaccine. Adverse reactions outnumber cases of the disease in government statistics. Nothing is being done to investigate those adverse reactions. And I stand here testifying on behalf of all the others who have had the same problem. Those adverse reactions include numerous deaths, convulsions, and arthritic conditions that occur within days after hepatitis B vaccination. The CDC is misrepresenting hypothetical estimated disease statistics as real cases of the disease. The ACIP recommended new vaccines for premature infants without having scientific studies proving it is safe. I submitted a FOIA, Freedom of Information request, to the CDC along with the Association of American Physicians and Surgeons, Jane Orient, who was the head of it. They never responded. They never gave us the data saying that there were studies proving this was safe to give to newborns. The US vaccination recommendation process is hopelessly compromised by conflicts of interest with vaccine manufacturers who make huge profits, and the American Academy of Pediatrics and the CDC. Conclusion: if, as with the original rotavirus vaccine, which was pulled after a handful of adverse reactions, hepatitis B vaccine was recommended originally without scientific proof that it was safe in a broad sample of racially and genetically diverse babies less than 48 hours old before they established that recommendation, then the CDC has been experimenting on babies like guinea pigs. And this committee should suspend that universal at-birth immunization policy. Thank you.
My heart goes out to you. I hear the pain in your voice, and thank you for your diligence and your well-structured comments.